Hey, it's Matt. I'm here in the Chardonnay Cave, and we're back to answer more of your questions about bottling. Today's questions involve oxygen during the bottling process. And don't worry if you skipped high school chemistry class, science is way more fun when it involves alcohol. Our first question today comes from Mike Kerr. Mike wants to know, do you inert your bottles with nitrogen after filling? It's a really good question, Mike. We actually use nitrogen throughout the bottling process. As soon as the bottles go into the bottling line, the first thing that happens is all the oxygen is purged out of them with nitrogen. The bottles are then filled with wine, and then before the cork goes in, a small puff of nitrogen is put on top of the wine, and then a vacuum pulled before the cork goes in. So the entire process is completely oxygen-free. Our next question comes from Alan in Rhode Island. Alan wants to know, how do you ensure that you remove as much oxygen as possible, and on average, how much oxygen is left in the bottle? Well, Alan, keeping oxygen away from wine is a big part of building age-worthy wines here at Montelena. And it all starts after fermentation when the wine goes down to barrel. We make sure any of our movements are covered by inert gas, all of our lines are purged of oxygen, and we really minimize our rackings to make sure the wine stays completely clean and clear and away from any contact and oxidation. This continues through the bottling process where we really focus on making sure that when the wine ends up in the bottle at the end of the day, there's less than 1 part per million of oxygen inside the bottle. And the way we accomplish that is obviously through measurements. We're checking at the beginning of the day, we're checking during the process and after, with the goal of bringing you a wine that is very consistent bottle to bottle and will last in your cellar for up to 30 years. Krista from Colorado asks us, what is the best way or device to preserve a bottle that hadn't been fully consumed, and how quickly should wine leftovers be consumed? Well, Krista, the best way is to not have this problem at all. Finish your wine. That's what we do. But in all seriousness, if you have a leftover bottle, the best way to do it is to do the same things that we do here at the winery, is use a bottle of inert gas. If you go onto Amazon or your favorite wine enthusiast website, you can usually find these small cans of inert gas that you can buy, and a few quick sprays on top will keep the wine fresh for a few days. The second part of your question, how quickly should wine leftovers be consumed, has that classic answer, it depends. Really young, aromatic, clean whites should definitely be consumed within a day or so, where more mature reds can sit on your counter for a few days. A really cool trick that a lot of people don't know is if you put that opened bottle of wine in your fridge, the cold temperatures actually slow down the oxidation reactions and can keep the wine fresh for up to a day longer. Just a fun fact. Our last question comes from Rachel in Washington, D.C., my hometown. Rachel wants to know, how do you prevent oxidation during the bottling process? And how long do you think CM wines should age in bottle before consuming? Well, Rachel, hopefully the answers to the first 3 questions answered the first part of yours regarding oxidation. So jumping into your second question, how long do you think CM wines can age in bottle before consuming? The answer is that we actually do the beginning of the aging for you. Our Chardonnay, Zinfandel, Napa Cabernet, and Estate Cabernet are all aged in glass for at least a year before release. It's something that we've done since the 1980s, and it's a big part of our guarantee to you to deliver delicious wines that are also age-worthy. So I'd encourage you to buy multiple bottles of whichever wine you'd like, put them in your cellar, your basement, your closet, whatever, and then periodically open them over time to find out what level of maturity works best for you. Know that we're here if you have any questions about it, and know that our wines will continue to age and develop for years and sometimes decades to come. So that's all the time we have for today. To summarize, wine, oxygen, not great bedfellows. And because of all the hard work we're doing on the bottling line right now, your Montelena wines are guaranteed to age for years and even decades to come. We love getting your questions, and we'll have more updates soon. So if you have them, make sure you ping us on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter using the hashtag MontelenaAMA. Thanks so much, and until next time.